it's heavy?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
No, it's a heavy one.
Okay, well, I take it all back. The trans-dimensional beamer is absolute garbage.
It's a heavy.
Because you have this jump infantry, but they have something in their equipment that works counter to what they do. Which is they have to stand still. So heavy 12-inch range, I don't know. I'm just not seeing it. They do get whip coils, which is kind of like lash whips, reduces enemy in contact to initiative 1. I don't know. I think the wraiths just by themselves could be good in an army.
Throw some particle casters in for wound allocation, maybe a whip.
Right.
And I think that would be a good unit for the wraiths.
It's the 3-up invulnerable save that makes them hard to kill.
Yeah, it's very hard to deal with that.
All right. So then you have destroyers, nothing different there. They all have reanimation protocol. No, they don't. No, they don't. Wraiths do not have that.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. That's a little bit lame. So.
Yeah, flayed ones don't have it. Oh no, flayed ones have it. Never mind. Okay, what else?
I don't see why you would take flayed ones really ever, unless you thought they were cool. There's better.
I'm not seeing it. Yeah, I'm not seeing. The weird thing about flayed ones is you get 5 in a group, and that's the only size of the unit.
What?
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I'm sorry. Come here to be misinformed.
Oh,
no, you can have additional.
Up to 15.
Up to.
Unit of 20 flayed ones? Actually, might not be bad. That'd be a good target.
I don't know. Are these guys not fearless? Yeah, they're not fearless.
Yeah, a lot of things aren't. All right, let's go with.
They have good leadership.
One that stood out to me was the Triarch Praetorians. Those guys are nifty, because what they have is a Rod of Covenant.
Oh, they're jump infantry.
Yeah, they're jump infantry to start off.
Strength 5, toughness 5. That's a big deal. So they're kind of like Wraith Guard with jump packs.
Yes. So what the Rod of Covenant does, it's a pistol. It's a Strength 5, AP 2, Assault 1, but it's also counts as a power weapon.
Yeah.
So I mean they're rolling. But
they only
up,
have
they're
one
do
attack.
Strength 5.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I would take Lich Guards.
They're fearless. Lich Guard are fearless.
All right. Well, there's that, I guess.
They're jump infantry.
It's a toughie, and I just have to point out, Lich Guard and the Triarch Praetorians are 40 points each. 40. Whenever something costs a lot, you have to consider what are their defenses. Because if something costs a lot, but they're easily killed, boy, they better pack a hell of a punch or have a great reach to them. Because otherwise they're just going to get blown to bits. That's a problem almost all over in the Eldar Codex. Is that it's like things cost so much and they're just so easy to kill. And they don't pack enough punch. They kind of held back on the punch.
Yeah. Probably
So,
my favorite one
that.
from the elites, though, I think is the Lich Guards and the Stalkers. Because the Lich Guard get a cool shield. It's a 4+ invuln save.
You can't beat the dispersion shield.
Oh yeah, and if a unit shoots at them with your shield, if you make the save, you bounce the shot back at them.
No, at another enemy unit within 6 inches.
Oh yeah.
They
yeah.
deflect the shot on
Yeah.
potentially something else.
Yeah. So you get like Stern Guard squad, just shoot them, like drop pod in. You're like
Makes them tough. Because psychologically, some people won't shoot them if any
Because
of
of
their
the shield.
units are within 6 inches. They'll be just too freaked out about that.
Yeah.
They won't be able to do the math and take the hit.
There's something to say to that. Like,
Then it'll be
scaring
like,
people with
but
it.
wouldn't that be awesome if it was close quarters and someone shot a Melta and you just burned up one of their vehicles with it? Kablam! Oh, I'm
Yes.
sorry, you just melted your own Land Raider.
Of course, then you got the.
Makes me
I
happy.
think the C10 shard, like those things are really good. Really good.
I really think people are going to take those, and the conversion possibilities are insane because they're
I would
gods.
take
They can
one.
come in all sorts of different forms.
I'll take
Well, here's what I noticed. Let me see if I can find them. There was one little, because I'm usually not smart enough to see synergy. Writhing Worldscape. While the Catan shard is on the battlefield, all difficult terrain is also dangerous for the enemy.
Yeah, that would be quick tech thing.
Yes. Oh, okay, you saw it too. Darn it.
Bring
Thought
it
I was
up.
the
Bring
only
it
one
up.
to see it.
Bring it up.
Well, the cryptex is where the weirdness begins, and I don't even know where to start with the court of an overlord's court. So here's how it works.
Lords with war size.
Well,
My
and
shackle
because
sparrows.
we're in a studio where we paint and convert these things. So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, well, there's only one cryptek model, right? Well, you're going to have potentially up to 10 crypteks in your army, right? So how can we convert these? That's my question. How can we convert these things? And the fact is you can convert them out of plastics, and that's what we're going to do. The problem is they have, they have 15 different options for war gear. And what I fear is people will say, Sean, I need 5 crypteks with all 15 options magnetized. And we can do that,
Yes, we can.
but that's a lot of magnetization. That's a lot of things. And quite frankly, I think a lot of these things don't need to be shown on the model.
Like
Like chronometron, which is, I don't know, whatever it is, you know, gaze of flame. So anyway, so here's how it works. For every Necron overlord in your army, including some of the special characters that are overlords as well, you can have what's called a royal court. The royal court is 0 to 5 Necron lords with 0 to 5 crypteks. So basically up to 10 guys in this unit. Which, by the way, let the insanity begin with this, where you could have 10 guys each with totally different things on them.
Not to mention, you can put them in units.
Yes, and they become the sergeants.
Yep.
Because normally with most races, like Orc Boys or Space Marines, there was a squad of guys and one of them was like a champion and rose through the ranks. Well, with Necrons, it's opposite. You have all the grunts down here, and the Overlord
target them
assigns
either.
a guy. Can't target what?
Can't target them, they're not independent characters.
That's right. The Necron
They're
Lord.
they're like, I'm your sergeant now. Yay.
Yeah, that's right.
That's really cool.
So and really we can't tackle this all in one in this
All
city.
one video, no.
It's well, first off, the Necron Lords and the Cryptex are only one wound. So Necron Lords are now not these almighty independent
They're
characters.
sergeants.
They are like high-ranking sergeants. They do have Strength 5, Toughness 5, and Armor
And
3,
with the
which
war
is
size.
nice. Yeah,
You're
a
gonna
War
see that
Scythe.
a lot.
A War Scythe, by the way, is a +2 Strength power weapon that gives you 2d6 against vehicles.
Yeah, you're going strength 7 with 2d6.
Oh yeah, they are. Arm getting tired there, buddy? Yeah, it will.
Yeah. No, go with the tremor stave. C10
Yep,
thing.
that's what I'm looking at. It makes that unit treats open ground as difficult
So
ground.
what the C10 does is makes all difficult terrain into dangerous terrain. So then each Cryptek,
Over the whole board.
over the whole board, yes. So Cryptek has a 36-inch range, strength 4,
Doesn't matter, you just gotta hit them.
but it's an Assault 1 blast, and it has Quake. Which what Quake does is all enemy units hit by a weapon with Quake treat open ground as difficult terrain during the next movement phase. So with the C10, it means their open terrain is now dangerous.
dangerous terrain.
So you hit like a big Hormigaunt unit, it's got like maxed out, just hit them with this small blast template, which you target in the middle, you're not going to miss.
Yeah,
And
kill
it's just
a
like,
sixth of them every time they move through.
Yeah. And it's
Which would be
like,
twice.
yeah, it's like they move and then they assault. And they're
Yeah, I just don't know if it's worth basing an army around that. But
basing an army around those two.
you don't have to base an army around it.
don't
You
have
take a
to.
Catan with the one thing and a
take
couple
another
guys
good
with
one.
trimmer staves.
Which the flame gaze on the C10.
Michelle just walked by and she just gave me the, oh man, you guys are such nerds look.
That's awesome.
Yeah, admit it. You did it, yeah. That's what I thought.
She's over there giggling.
We're excited over trimmer staves.
So I take a C10, I take the, what's it called?
Writhing Worldscape?
Yeah, I take that one and Lord of Fire.
What's Lord of Fire?
So what Lord of Fire does is, if you're within 12 inches of the C10, any flame or melta, any like type thing like that, every time somebody shoots it, you roll a d6. And if you roll a 1, they explode and remove the model.
Wow. Is that a vehicle too?
Yes.
Oh no, it's weapon destroyed.
Or
if on
weapon
the
destroy
vehicle.
it.
In either case, the shot is lost.
So
Oh, that's
you're like,
interesting.
You have melta-guns. Ah.
That is interesting.
Or flamethrowers.
Well, I think the shards are where things are going to get weird. Because you could have 3 of them.
Well,
And they are monsters.
the combo
But
between
they're
the
185.
shards and the crit tag, it's going to make things just really just... There's so much synergy and just insanity you can do with them. This book is full of synergy. I'm really liking the way they're going.
It's a delight.
Because like the Dark Eldar decks has tons of synergy. This one has tons of synergy. I don't think as much synergy in the Grey Knight decks. Grey Knight decks is really good, but it doesn't have that much.
The reason why I wanted, thank you.
That's my opinion though.
The reason I was looking for author of Space Marines is whoever that is, somebody needs to pat that guy on the back.
It's Matt.
Because
You got one right here?
this guy's a genius. He created a book that years later is still relevant, still competitive, people still play it, and it's not like, oh, the newest 3 books are the only ones that you can play and, are any good. It's like you can go back and you can find new solutions, new ways to run it, new things become relevant. I think it's exciting. And I'm glad, because like the Beastmen book came out for Warhammer Fantasy. Guess how many Beastmen armies were commissioned? I think 0.
Well, we did a couple of the
Yeah,
The
people
beast
just wanted
guys.
the monsters to
Yeah,
kind of
just
add
wanted
to an
monsters.
existing army. And it's just because it was not well written. So hold on, let me see who GW needs to fire.
need to give a promotion to Matt Ward and Phil Kelly. Those 2 are my favorites.
Oh, there you go. Up, Andy Hoare and Phil Kelly.
Phil Kelly let me down. The Beastmen.
Why? Or maybe we're all just not smart enough to do it. Okay, Janine, why don't you come on over? Because Janine's been sitting there like this, like the whole time. She's got to chime in. No, let's chime. Come on over. Come on over. Come on over.
Thomas
Here, you
hates
can
Matthew
take my
Ward.
spot. Oh, you
He's
can
so
take Bryn's
mad
spot.
about
Okay.
this Necron Codex.
Okay. And now. Okay, start and stop.
All the names of stuff and most of the people should be said with the Marvin the Martian voice.
Okay.
Like space modulator and all those kinds of
Oh yeah, that'd be fantastic. Do you guys need attention?
I was going to ask if the trace in there was the one that I told you I wanted, or if you had.
Okay, it is the one that you wanted.
Is there
But
another
whoa, you don't get to get it. You got to pay this guy right here. Okay. Now with an alternate opinion, we have Janine. Okay,
Actually,
Janine,
the
go
one
ahead.
that needs to be here is not me. It's Thomas, who's not a Matthew Ward fan.
So, but what's the problem? I don't get it. Because I seriously haven't heard of this before. I mean, I've heard of it, but I don't. I don't tap into the nerd rage online.
Here's
Okay,
the
go
thing
ahead.
that frustrates me about the Necron Codex. I'm not a big fan of when a model's rules break other rules.
Okay, like
Like,
what?
for example, the gun that lowers an enemy's vehicles,
which is
Yeah.
a lot of them.
which is a lot of them. I mean, it breaks a fundamental rule of the game, which changes the entire balance of how everything works. I don't know. Anyway.
It's like, what inspires a young boy to throw a giant rock into a pond? Boom, oh, let's go get a bigger one and throw that one in.
So,
And so forth until nuclear weapons.
but the models are sexy.
Oh yeah, they're
And,
fantastic. And the names of stuff is cool. Like
And the
Joseph
Necrons-
says, we'll blow you up with my particle beam.
Have you opened up the new vehicle kit?
Yeah,
Their sprues are just packed full of
they're
stuff.
thick. And they're...
It's just
assembly
bits.
is just going to be like, But I'll give options. I'll give
Yeah.
the simple version and the complex version.
I can't imagine putting together some of these arcs and stuff. Pain in the butt.
No, there's a lot of bits. Right now we're
Beautiful,
looking
though.
at them like, how can we make a night scythe out of this kit? How can we make a stalker out of this kit?
Well, and one thing that's for sure is Necrons definitely deserve this. They've waited a long time.
Yeah.
They were one of the worst codexes.
Well, they were never, they never had like a thing where they were like the hot army.
Yeah.
They were always kind of this weird, they're like the Pluto of Warhammer 40k armies. You know?
What's the gun that like shoots in a straight line and hits everything in the line like a laser beam?
It's the heat ray. No,
It's the one that
the Doomsday cannon. Hold
Oh,
on, I
it's
got it. The Doom
ridiculous.
scythe has it. It's a death ray. Death ray! Come on!
Pretty ridiculous.
That's how you must laugh every time you shoot the death ray. Speaking of death rays, Jesse is, I think has had it. He's holding the camera like this.
It's like, oh my arm.
Tell you what, Jesse, you can go home after this, okay?
Is there any?
Well, did you? Okay, we'll talk about that.
All right. Now
I don't want to
now that
name
Eldar-
the horrible things that Jesse has to do around here.
They're not that
Nobody
bad.
wants to do that, Jesse.
I'm fine with it. It's not a big deal.
The fluff is really cool in here too.
I played along
They,
with the
Necrons
charade.
actually have named characters now. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, these guys are freaks, too, and a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
And they all do, like, I haven't even read these over thoroughly enough. But see, I'm going to make my army like I always make it, which is I'm going to pick the things that look cool and sound cool and hope it works.
Here's one thing that
And play John.
I can't figure out though. Well, let's see if I can find it. All of the lords have reanimation protocols, but then they also have
Ever living.
ever living.
Hold
How
on a
does
second.
that stack?
Yeah, it's ever living only gives additional rules to the reanimation protocols that make them make sense for characters.
Oh, okay.
Like, they don't necessarily come back with the unit that was killed.
But
They
still
can
come
join
back.
another unit nearby. They can, so
makes
if a
sense.
Necron Lord dies, or something with ever living dies, let's say it's here. Boom, that dies. You take it off, you put a counter on, right? And then you roll the reanimation protocol, so on a 5 up it comes back. But the counter isn't necessarily where it goes. You get to put him anywhere within 3 inches, and I think if the unit he was with is still living, then he has to go with them, but he can come out in a different place, basically.
That makes sense.
So it's basically, unless I'm reading it wrong, it's well written. It helps kind of solve some issues. If they're in close combat, if the unit he was in was in close combat, then he can reanimate, but then he has to pile into the same combat again. But if they're gone or something like that, then he can actually come out and join a different unit.
Doesn't the resurrection orb, isn't it
It
better?
increases his thing to a 4 up instead of a 5
Better
up.
than this one? And there's no way to take away their will be backs in this.
Well, what it means
codex
is,
anymore.
if there's 20 warriors and you
Okay.
blow them all up and you kill them, and then you go over and you break all the pieces, and then you put the pieces into a sausage grinder and you grind those up, and then you melt those with repeated melt-a-shots.
They're still coming back.
Yes.
Actually, no, if
And
you
then
completely destroy the
half of
unit.
them are going to come back with the resurrection arm.
If you completely destroy the unit, they don't come back.
Oh, yeah,
And if you
so-
make them run.
You know what? I was having a lot of fun with that, Janine.
I'm sorry. So. I don't know,
Yeah,
it'll be
Necrons are
interesting.
fantastic, and I actually might enthrone them as my new favorite army, which is saying something because it's been Eldar for 15 years. Forgive me, Eldar. Oh no, they're gonna.
Eldar's turn is coming.
Oh
Eventually.
yeah, they're gonna be just ridiculous.
You know what was interesting is on the final table, Thomas was playing Eldar. So they're still kicking around. They're still out there.
Yeah. Well, I like the new codexes because just for the plain old reason they have a lot of stuff in them.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
There's not one way to run
Like
an
you
army.
could make, yeah. Well, think about this. A royal court is 175 plus 120 is 300 points just for the figures. 10 guys. Now, have fun giving them all this bizarro war gear and then run
Tachyon
them
arrows,
around.
strength 10, AP1.
Chronometron, Time Splinter Cloak, which actually is, I think, the worst piece of war gear in here. Time Splinter Cloak is 30 points, and it gives him a, hold on, I can do it. It's, I think, a 3-up save.
Is it an invuln or just an armor save?
An invulnerable save.
That's not bad.
Yeah, but the guy only has 1 wound. I'm just saying.
Well, it's still. It gives
And
you,
his normal save is 4-up. I don't know.
It gives
I
you
just don't think it's
a
any good.
2/3 chance that he won't die.
Yeah, from a whatever it is shot, a las cannon shot or whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but it's all just so bizarre. It's so weird. It's just weird science. Well, that's all we got. Hats off to Necrons. I recommend. They're fantastic. Oh, and by the way, in the liner notes, I'm going to provide a link to our how to set up a Necrons project, because I'm doing Necrons differently than any other army in terms of painting pricing. Here's how it runs. Just pretend to be interested for 30 seconds. It's, we're going to have simple color schemes. You can pick whatever you want, and that's the normal price. Then I'll have a list of simple color schemes, and those will be notably less for painting, but you get to pick what it is. And we're gonna just add to that as we go along. And then you can go level 2, and level 2 gives an even better discount, and you can go level 2 artistic license, which gives even a better discount than that. It's almost half off, basically, painting. So, yeah, check the liner notes. Thank you. It helps me feel important when people are pretending to be interested. So thanks, Janine. Thanks for that. It's a great skill.